Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hope everyone's doing good this Sunday. I had a busy day yesterday, and I think it's gonna be busier today. We have like some window issues where there's like air coming in and out of our bedroom. So we have people that are going to be coming on Monday and Tuesday. We're getting a couple different not referrals, quotes to see how like price and comparison. So they're moving everything around because I need to be able to measure all the windows. But ironically, all the windows upstairs are the same size in every room. So, but they still need to measure them. And then there's like a quote and bids and all that stuff like that and offers. So I'm trying to make them move everything away from any window and vacuum and sweep and mop underneath it so that way it could be a little bit easier. And then we had to keep up our dog cage because Loki and Roxy need to go in there because if they're outside, they'll jump on the back door over and over again until they're let in. So we found out it's easier just to put them in their little crate. It's not a crate; it's huge. It looks like it could be considered a one-bedroom apartment in New York. I'm not gonna even lie. So they go in there, and I'll tell you how big it is. They can both go in there. They both could lay, and sometimes if they're whining or whimpering, Hope opens the cage and gets in there, sits with her long legs on her computer or on her phone, and there's still room for another person. so, um, so yeah, we're doing that. I got to do the opposite of what I was going to do yesterday. Yesterday, I told you I was going to make the sewing arts, and I did put the link in the last live. I didn't have a chance because when Kindle was trying to print it, it printed the instructions, but for whatever way, what maybe the program would not allow him to print out the pattern pieces, even though they're all like right next to each other. Like there's no separate file. It's just one file. So he had to go to Kinko's, but not Kinko's, FedEx. But before he did that, he had like a lot of other errands to run. So I didn't get the pattern until almost like 2 or 3. So I instead worked on a tester that's super cute. It was a tester from Patterns by Mrs. H. And every time I love the way her mind works because she has you thinking outside the box. And I worked on a all exterior leather messenger bag, the Mighty Messenger. That's one of my favorite messenger bags because it doesn't have a ton of pieces, and every time I make it, I'm always impressed on how easy it comes together. So I did that, and now I'm cutting out the pattern pieces. So yeah, that's it. That's it. I didn't get any of my pegboards up or even my new printer. I bought a printer stall so I could put the printer in there so I could start working. So I'm hoping I can get some of these things done today as long around also the sewing arts. So that way Monday I have like something I'm trying to do every single day to hit my goal of making 20 bags before this next event. Sorry, my throat is itchy. So that is Sunday. I woke up early too. I was trying to stay in bed until like 9. At 6 o'clock, I was like, I was fully up, like just scrolling through Facebook and um, watching reels. And that's it. I think also I have like a start of a headache, a migraine coming on, and I took some preventative medicine yesterday, but I might have to double down on that because I see like the little floaties, and I hate migraines. They get triggered off of everything. So yeah, I also got yesterday through Amazon. I purchased this. I finally got the screwdriver with the light on it, and I'm pretty excited. I do have one that I got through Sandra. I I like that one, but this one is supposed to be battery operated and it screws for you. And I'm curious if this would help me because sometimes I feel like I'm too heavy handed and I strip screws. So I don't know how well it's going to work. Am I going to allow the screwdriver to do its thing and just hold it? Or am I going to try to dig in why this thing's trying to rotate and do more damage? We shall see. I'll definitely do a review on it. Someone within our group recommended this particular brand, and there's a lot of different ones. There's some even really pretty ones that have like different colors, like different matte finishes, like so they're attractive. Yeah. So this is the one I got. I'm hoping. I like how it came with all these. I want to see if Kendall can make me like a stand where he could drill a hole and like a slot. This is a general cordless screwdriver. It just says general. Ultratech. Ultratech. So yeah, it's supposed to have 6 hours of power off of one charge. 6 hours of power plus two. It's cordless, two AAA batteries. But I'm wondering if Kindle can make me something with out of wood where this can have its slot and this can have it where I this separate I would lose. So it's either he can make me something wood, or I might have to put it in like one of those knick-knack boxes and like label it screwdriver, because this would get lost with me 100% sure, because it's not screwed in here. I feel like that's the cool the advantage of having the one like Sandra got. All the screws fit inside here, but and the light is clickable, but you're not getting the electrical drill part. So we shall see. I'm excited. I feel like I'm gonna strip some screws first. Like 100%. Yeah, so the brand is Ultratech Tool System. I got it on Amazon. It was like $22, I believe. Came like the next day. I noticed whenever there's actual physical tools that people use for like creating stuff like this screwdriver, they usually come within 1 to 2 days, because I think they think you have a project that's due. I did get some prints of fabric that I got in that I ordered that I wanted you to see, because I like to order. Ooh, I know. And that's what I said, Sandra. I said, it's not, Sandra's is the same way, except all the bits are inside. And for me, I think that's a little bit more important, because I lose everything, especially if they're smaller. Yeah, it's a huge rabbit hole. But yeah, the one that I showed you a couple of weeks ago, not a couple of weeks ago, last week with the blue light, it was blue. Sandra's going to be having a So Magical Expo, Tennessee. I don't know if she's going to she's going to sell them on her site. I hope she does, because I feel like you're missing out if you don't have one. Okay, so I got a couple of prints that I really, really love right now. This is from the Free Spirit. I swear I think I like a lot of Free Spirit stuff. And it's from the Love Me Always. And this one is the Echinacea. I always see this around, but I've never seen this colorway. And I got Moda's color to go with it. A solid. After the expo, she will have some. It is a rabbit hole. So I really like this. I like this in the typewriter. I have the hardest time locating the typewriter, but I've always seen the Echinacea one in like different colorways. I'm like, where do you get it? I'm telling you, unfortunately my quilt shop doesn't have like, it's weird. The quilt shop is small where the fabric is and the cutting counter, but if you go into the back room where they're teaching you how to quilt, it is massive. It is like 3 or 4 times the space of the actual shop. And I understand, because they have like these big free motion quilting things, but dang, it's hard. I wind up going to like I feel like Stitch Supply Co is my actual fabric store. I watch her on Tuesdays. She shows all the fabrics, and then I write down what fabrics that she showed that I liked, and she shows like every colorway in that collection, and it makes it easier for me. I don't know. I also got this print. And also when you order from Stitch Supply Co., you get a project bag. So she puts all your fabric in a project bag. So it's like 2 for like great. I got all the fabrics that I want. Plus I have a project bag, which I use project bags a lot. So she showed this one too. This one is from is it Juicy Guys? Juicy. Okay. It's Andover fabric, but it just, I don't know. I thought of like, but I also thought of like, I don't know. It's just really cool. There's like, on one side it says like, no, 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 no. It feels like something that, what is those, red room that Jack Nicholson wrote on the walls? Like, something, something, this. There's equations on it. No, no, no. Looks like you are no. There's a lot. It says confusion on here. I would like. I spent 2 hours trying to like decipher everything. Like I was freaking Indiana Jones. Yeah, I can't wait to go see your room, Sandra. Want to see those industrials. And I got these two together because I love the Bramble collection through Rifle Paper. But look, it's music and flowers. And then I got this. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this, but whatever I do is gonna be super cute. Isn't that cute? These two together, I love that. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but I think it's super cute. And then I wanted to start my spooky collection so that way we do the 13 days of Halloween, that I have like 13 different browns of Halloween fabric. So I bought this one and it's so soft. Like this is a good morning. This is like canvas. It through Rifle. I like Rifle Paper's canvas. It does not shrink as much as the other canvases I've ever got. I don't know what they put in their canvas, but it does not shrink as much. Like it's not super visible. But I got the Spooky and Witches from AGF. And I just like the way this print looked. It's just really pretty. I thought they would make really cute pouches or dice bags or lunch bags or coasters, whatever. I mean, cozies, what have you. And I like the little spiders. So I like getting spooky fabric that's like not in your face spooky, that's like casual Halloween. And it was pink, and I don't like pink, but I like that print. um, and I always, always, always seem to be drawn to Sunbeam by Ruby Star's collection. Anything Ruby Star, but isn't this gorgeous? I usually get prints like this for my lining to give that pop of color and just a little bit more dimension. The only problem with things like this is I'll get stuck on it because I try to fussy cut. I have an eyelash that is clearly coming out. Yeah, I get stuck on it. So those are the fabric ones that I got, and I'm still trying to figure out where this eyelash is. Okay. It feels like a freaking spider web. Good morning. Yeah, so I got those and I'm really excited. So yesterday, again, I made an all leather Mighty Messenger. It was my first time making the Mighty Messenger in all leather. I did take my time. So the convention that I'm going to at not next week, but the following week, it's a Star Trek convention. And I mentioned that the convention has been around longer than I've been alive. And they have like the same some of the same people. So they bring people in from Star Trek, anything with space. So like Farpoint, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, all these things, they bring them in, and they pull really big names. So I wanted to make, last time I was there, I had a couple of men say that all my bags are super feminine. And I never really thought of it that way. And I don't want to be known as I sew for just feminine people. So I was really going above and beyond yesterday trying to make a couple more masculine. But I feel like the bag that I made yesterday, could be for any walk of life. If you just like Firefly, then you're gonna like the bag. I really like how it came out. I did a couple different modifications to it. The inside of it is waterproof canvas, but it's pretty cool. I used this, it was this white and brown pulled leather. I only had a Sky Evolve during the seam allowances. There's no interfacing in this bag whatsoever. So what we have this nice pulled leather. We have 2 Firefly patches that I put on there. My label. When you open it up, because I wanted the red from the patches to come through, you have your red slip pocket. Your zipper on the side, and then on the inside, I just made 2 slip pockets. I felt like it didn't need another zipper. So I used brown seatbelt webbing because I didn't have any really nice brown cotton webbing that would distract from it. And I just tacked it on like that. So, I used her seams. I still did use foam only on this side. It really didn't need it, but I wanted to make sure it kept its shape because this is a leather and leather can make things collapse. I did a couple of extra details on the recessed zipper, and I used some nice pulled leather for the bottom for details. I really love how this bag came out. My husband was like, holy shit. It was pretty funny. I wanted to, good morning, Jenny. I really wanted to be like a little bit more masculine for my male viewers and male people that are men that are women that like more masculine bags. So that way it can happen. When I did it too, I even thought as far as the hardware, I made sure that these were like the thicker ones and not the more thin ones. Even the magnet on here is a thicker magnet versus a thin one to give it a more, I guess, masculine look. And I like the way it came out tremendously. Again, I love the Mighty Messenger from Fierce Kitten. She does a really good job. I hope one day she makes this Mighty Messenger where you can put a laptop in it, like a gaming laptop. It would be over. So if you're watching this, make a gaming laptop version. Because her shape of her flap, I love how it comes exactly to the bottom. It's nice and flush. It gives the bag a really nice look. A lot of people that make flaps will have like the magnet like right here, and like about 2 inches of this is cut off and you see the bottom. I love the fact that it's fully covering it, and it makes it look so much more nice. Let's see. Good morning, Jenny. And yeah, and if you watch Firefly, that's exactly what I was going for. Firefly is a sci-fi movie in the future, but yet then it's in space, but a Western. I know it sounds weird. But if you're fans of Buffy, Angel, or anything that Josh Whedon did during the 90s, you will love this show. There was like, when the show got canceled in its second year, I think it happened during one of the writer's blocks. People went ham and protested, and that's when they came out with a movie to help like tie all the events up so that way the fans can get it. That's really rare to say because normally when a show gets canceled, that's it. So for the producers and the writers to say, let's finish a movie so that the fans can have closure, that is huge. And if you watch the TV series, I guarantee you'll know half the cast. It's a good show. I mean, literally space Western. I know those two things don't seem like it, but they're good. It's kind of like, it reminds me of that movie, Aliens versus Cowboys. I remember when that movie came out, I was like, Kendall, we're not watching. This is bullshit. Like, it doesn't go together. And we couldn't find anything else to watch. And my cousin kept persisting that movie was good. We sat down and we watched it, and we were like, oh my God, this movie is phenomenal. That's how that show is. It's just like two things that are not supposed to be makes the most beautiful thing. Yes, original series was best. So that's what I was going for here. I have Serenity. I have the badge for the ship, the Alliance. That's what I was going for. I wanted something that somebody could wear this and people be like, oh, it looks good. But deep down inside, if someone sees the symbols or sees Serenity, they're like Firefly. Without any hardware, without any big things. So, and then I seen this thing in creative bag making where this person adds this to the ends of it. Like I could do a brief like Nova's nuggets to show you how to do it, but by adding this, you're adding more support to the zipper, so they're tugging down. It's getting anchored onto the bag with rivets, and I actually think I'm gonna start doing that more and more with my bags because it makes sense. Okay. Like you should wait until, if you follow me on Instagram, when I'm done here, I did a compilation of how I put a progression of this bag. You guys see me do that before with many other bags, but I used the opening credit, and I would listen to the opening credit for like 16 times. And every time I was like, oh my God, I was a baby and I love the show. Um, and I've totally forgot, like, the music in that series was phenomenal. The opening credits alone song is amazing. So it's about serenity. So it's the song by itself is super powerful. So I have that. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to put down what kind of leather that I used, everything. I wrote it down. It's upstairs. Um, but yeah, I wanted to show what I like to do is, if I go to Comic Cons, I like to post a few bags. Like, I like to leave a couple surprises where no one sees it, but I like to post a few bags that can draw people into my shop. Because oddly, one thing I always have at every convention is people buy things for me from me prior to the convention so they can wear it to the convention. So I like I'm going to sample. I made a sample of this. I have some pictures of it, that, and I made it like a still shot video with the opening of Firefly, and I'm hoping that someone bites. I'm not going to sell it though until the convention because I'm low in stock, but I just want people to see what I'm making for the convention they're about to attend. And I always post it too because somebody that may not be able to attend this, could be out in California, sees this and say, "Hey, can you make me a special bag similar to that?" So you have to market yourself, especially in this area. Yeah, I seen this zipper thing I seen in okay, so what I do before I go to bed, try to respond to all my correspondence. So if you guys ever email me and you get an email at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you're like, oh yeah, that's Genova just responding. I try to do that, and then I'll scroll through Facebook, and I seen this in creative bag making, but I didn't see, there were so many comments and I didn't see if there was like a video. But then the more I looked at it, I was able to break it apart and figure it out. And so what I used is this area that we cut out. I used those strips with for them. Like, I just cut them down shorter, but they're the exact width because it's the area you cut out. So I was like, okay, I got that part. And then I seen somewhere else where a person stitched all the way down and then did a rivet at the end. I thought I liked the way that looked. It was really classy, especially if you're trying to do contrast stitching. It will look really classy. So I just think it actually makes sense because if someone's pulling on their bag, they're not only pulling on these stitches, there's a reinforcement there that helps tremendously. Yeah, late night communications from Shinova. I'll be like, why the hell is she up? That's when I could correspond. Like, it is, you could ask Sandra right now, though, like, whenever I was like, oh, I need to go to bed, um, at the thing, it was because it was my correspondence. I try to get back to people within 24 to 40 hours. Sometimes it doesn't work out because I do have three kids, and one kid in particular likes to watch TV shows with me. And if we're watching it, I try to be present. So, and not like, so it all depends on the situation. But like 5 days out of the week, I do generally have time between 9 and whenever I go to bed to follow up a correspondence. And then aimlessly scroll through or listen to music, or I can't just do one thing. It just, I can't do it. It has to be multiple. So yeah, I was making up my reel for today for this video. Oh my God, Midnight Sewing Club is so good. And they're not making a second season. Netflix and Sci-Fi needs to get Junk Punch because they'll come out with a series that is so amazing, and then they're like, guess what? No more seasons. And you're looking at them like, why did you get me invested in the show and you knew you were going to do this? And so, yeah, I watched the Midnight Club when it first came out like a year ago, and it is so good. It's not anything that you thought it would be. I can't. There's nothing that I can give it to you that reminds me of it. I'm trying to think. It has heavily to do with imagination. It deals with things that people don't want to talk about, like kids having cancer and in their last stages, and they're in a transition home to help them be comfortable. And they're around other people, other kids that have similar cancers or or ill-fated, not very living very long, and that alone can make people not want to watch it. But that's the reason why I did watch it, because I feel like sometimes we have to watch something that makes us uncomfortable to get a different perspective. If we just stay in our comfort zone, then we never grow. And it has a lot to do with their imagination, and it's a solid TV series. And I know there's a book series, so I think I'm just gonna go and get the second book, because I found out they're not going to um, make it again, make a second season. You do all your communications between 10 p.m. and 3 p.m. Same. I know it's the only time that my brain can slow down, because I get a lot of messages while I'm sewing. So I generally don't have my sound on my phone, especially if all my family members are home, then my phone has no sound unless I'm watching something. And again, it has no notification sound. So as soon as I get upstairs and I turn on sounds and I'm washing my face, it's like bing, 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 and getting pinged all over the place. And then I try to respond. So yeah. Yeah, so last night I was what was I watching? Oh, I was watching Sex in the City. I don't know why I decided to rewatch it. I can't watch the newer seasons of um whatever their new one is. I don't want it's weird because they're the same age as the Golden Girls. And I know it's New York versus Florida. It's just I don't know. I just I don't know. It just seems weird. All the trailers for the new ones seem weird, and they're doing things that I guess like doesn't make any sense. Like I guess in the newer season that one of the ex-boyfriends that Carrie left Aiden, I guess that's his name, for not once but twice for Mr. Big is now back in her life after Mr. Big is no more. And I'm like, how are you gonna have a how are you gonna build a relationship? Basically, this person was always second. Like, there's no way. It just I don't know. It sets it up for failure, so you already know how the show's gonna go. But I don't know. But yes, I'm really proud of this. I like it. I love this leather. I wish I had more of it. I have just like a couple scraps left to do like accent pieces like this. But yes, I do like the brown webbing. I'm not a fan of seatbelt webbing, but I did do the ends of the seatbelt webbing with leather on both sides, so that way I can have extra reinforcement and I can actually have rivets go through them. I know. I seen the preview for the second season, and it looks like, honestly, if I didn't see Sex and the City first, I probably will watch the show because I like seeing something 50 somethings, soon to be 60 somethings, living their life, and their life doesn't stop because they're in their 50s. But Sex and the City had such a huge cult following that most people know about Big and Carrie or whatever. The first episode of the very first season already made like the way they represented Steve made me upset. And I was like, I can't watch this. So but I am watching what am I watching on? I was trying to watch also I was also okay, I was a person that watched Pretty Little Liars. It was my sister. She was like, "Read the books." I read the books. When the show came out, I was like, "Hey, why not?" And I like the show. Because I like anything with mystery. So they have like origins of Pretty Little Liars on Max, HBO Max, and I was like, it's on HBO. Holy heck, there's such a difference between having a show on Freeform and HBO. HBO, like there were like literal deaths, and like you've seen the death scenes in blood, and I was like, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. So I was only able to watch 2 episodes, and that's it. I couldn't get through it because of the fact that I watched the original series, and I think that has a lot to do with me. I sometimes I don't know, but I was able to watch Ring of Power. I've seen all the Lord of the Rings, read all the Lord of the Rings, seen all the Hobbits, read the Hobbit, and I was able to watch Ring of Power with like a new gusto. But I don't know, but like shows like Sex and the City and their newer show or Pretty Little Liars, I somehow can't get into it after the original show has ended. I don't know why. And I wasn't prepared for the amount of violence in the first 2 episodes of Pretty Little Liars. I was like, I'm good. I'm not going to watch it. Yeah. I struggled with the new show on the first season. I love Steve. Steve is one of my favorite characters in the series. It's because he was, I guess, the most realistic person out of everybody. Um, he seemed like a generally just a real good-hearted person, and the way they made him look in the TV series, I was like, okay, so Miranda's evil. I don't know. I don't care if you want to venture and dabble outside of it, but when you're married, you make a commitment with someone. You're basically like, we're ride or die for life. And if you do change your mind, don't cheat. Be responsible and just end it. That's it. That I mean, you're in your 50s. You should know that. So the brown seatbelt webbing. I normally don't get seatbelt webbing, but when I do, I usually get it from my handmade space. Yeah, I believe I got this from my handmade space. I wish I had like a natural brown or cotton. I prefer cotton webbing than over polyester. If you are on Facebook, I know a lot of you aren't because I get correspondence and you're like, I'm not on Facebook. Um, at least once a week. Like we could play a drinking game. Once or twice a week, somebody will show their bag and be like, "Hey, my customer said their webbing came out," and it's always a polyester based one because there's a lot more to seal the ends than people think. Some people think hitting it and just since you didn't know, you have to even like cauterize the holes that you're going to punch for um, rivets. So, like for example, I put 2 rivets here, right? So on this, I have the leather to help anchor it. And when I did the holes, when I punched the holes, I literally stuck my flame through it. And so it was cauterized inside there too, so it can not make it leak. Then before I put the rivets, I did drop some Loctite around the holes and put the rivets through. I will not mess because like zipper tape, polyester or any kind of webbing likes to fray. The reason why I like cotton is way more stronger than people think it is, and it does not fray like this. Like if you use fray check and do the same thing, put like a sandwich of faux leather, or whatever you're using on it, you're not going to have those issues. But seatbelt webbing, I notice a lot of people are having issues because they're not realizing they got to kind of cauterize it like a wound. Yeah, I try to make it look more masculine. There are actually rivet removers. It comes in it's a die. It has like 4 dots, and you can remove it. I know. So Sweetness carries one. But the first person I heard it from was actually from Klum House, KLUM. And they have it. There that set. Usually, you can get it if you look at it on So Sweetness. I believe I'm not. Let me double check for you. I found my phone. It was like underneath the dresser. I was like, what the heck? Hold on, let's see. So, okay, there's a how to. I'll send the blog over to you right now. I'm gonna copy this link. Hello. My phone sucks. I gotta get a new phone. It's a rivet remover like this. So Sweetness showed it. There's one from Klum House. Um, and you kind of just put this tool in there and you tap and it pops out the whole rivet. Now, with that being said, it is a little more tedious, but it is a clean finish. If I found out, and yeah, you see how close it is because I remove rivets all the time. This is a bone cutter. I like to make corsets. These things are relatively inexpensive. They're like 13 and like $13 on up. I don't know what this one is. It's called Craft Tools. And it says patent. That's it. I usually put my little nippers in here, and these are really sharp. Be careful if you buy anything like this. Bone cutters, you can literally cut your finger off. No joke. You can see how sharp this blade is right through here. I usually kind of burrow into a rivet and I I literally cut it off. I cut the top off, and then I'm able to pull out the stem and the head from the other side. I haven't injured myself on this. So I think you won't, but just be careful because bone cutters literally are meant to go through still. I have a couple pair, or they're also called nippers. If you use burr, if any of you, I don't know if any of you guys use burr rivets. I do. They're like customizing rivets to be the exact size that you need. There's nippers that you cut it off the stem to where you need it to be before you tap it down. Nippers are another one. But I'm going to send this link from So Sweetness to us right in our group chat right now. All right. So it should pop up. So yeah, I use bone cutters. They're relatively inexpensive. You can go to any place that sells cordistry stuff, like twill. That's where you can get your twill tape too. That's where I get it. They comes in so many different colors. And this is what I've been using for years. Then about 5 or 6 years ago, started following Clume House, and she had that tool. And then a couple years ago, Sarah said it. So they're the only two designers I know that really talk about this tool. This tool is a very, very good tool to have, especially if you're making a professional bag for somebody, for someone and you're selling. You'll get a clean finish. It is some places have it cheaper than the rest. It is a Japanese tool. The set that I usually bought what did come from Japan, and it's an all black tool with an all black board. But I haven't got the one from Sarah, but Sarah doesn't sell any kind of crappy products or link any kind of crap out. She like stands behind the products she talks about. So I really appreciate that. But if you're like, hey, that's not for me, nippers. These come in handy more than you think. They're a very useful tool, and I don't know. Good morning, Christine. Yeah, I have to get up because I need to start this other bag, and um, I need to start this other bag as well as I'm just gonna go to sleep. Start this other bag and set up for tomorrow's bag. I need to take pictures of my tester bags too. I got body shots that I need to take standstill. Yes, Diane, when I tell people that, no one listens to me. I have a small soldering iron, and every time I bring it out, Kendall's like, please don't burn your lap. Please don't burn your lap. It's really, really small. I put it on my thing, and when I know I'm using polyester like this, I will plug it in. It takes like 2 minutes to do. I got it in the crafting section of the wood burning section, actually, in Joann's like many moons ago. If you go, the thing about Joann's that people don't understand, I hate them, but I also love them, um, because they have so many different crafts, and then you could bleed it into your sewing. So they have a leather working section. They also have a jewelry section, and they also have a woodworking. If you go to the woodworking, you will find like a small wood burner, and they have really small drill tips that you put into this machine. When I make a rivet, I stick the hole in there right when it gets red hot and pull it out. And it gets, for about a few seconds, it's super melty, and then it cools down tremendously fast. Polyester cools down faster than you think. Then I just kind of like press my finger around. This is probably why I have calluses on my index and my thumb. I kind of melt it down, then put my rivet. I have never, ever had an issue where a strap frayed because I solder it. Because the thing is that how the machine, how it comes to you, it should be indication why things fray. When you get your seat, I'm trying to see if I see any. When you get your seatbelt webbing, either the very beginning or the ends are frayed. Usually the end is burned or soldered itself, and then the front is frayed, meaning that there's no holes in the whole entire pattern. When you disrupt that, that's like trying to cut a clip into your zipper, you're asking for it to unravel because it was weaved together. So just like a light singe, you're barely doing it. You need to create a new path where like this, it has nowhere to fray because the back is all fresh and clean. And now you soldered the front, so it has nowhere else to fray. And also leaving a fair amount into the seam allowance, whether it be a 1/2 inch or 3/8 of an inch. do that. It needs something to anchor. And if you know you're going to put rivets in it, punch the holes, solder them, and call them a day. But the soldering tool is one of my favorite tools, and that is another tool that I have not injured myself with because I'm afraid. It dropped and I jumped so far like I was freaking Spider-Man. Didn't hit me, but hit a wire and melted it. I was like, shit. Aw. I know, I'm glad you got the machines too, because hello, people can go to your school and test out machines before they purchase a machine. So yeah, do that. So this I with leather on that, and these, and on the other side I soldered the holes before I punched them. It just makes life easier. I wish I should, if I had enough of this brown, I would have double sewed it. I would have sewed it together. I just, something about seatbelt webbing. I know it's strong because obviously we wear it in the car, but it just doesn't feel, I don't know. I can't put my word on it. It doesn't feel, it feels flimsy. Oh yeah. Yes, definitely post the picture, Sandra. I think that would be cool for people to see. Yes, it's all leather. It's Fierce Kitten. So I just added this modification here. I have a zipper pocket here, and then I just added 2 slip pockets for the inside because I figured if they have 2 zipper pockets. I was trying to go for something that was a little bit more masculine, and I love these 2 leathers together. And then I got the webbing. Yeah, I love Fierce Kitten's bag. Like seriously, every time I make this bag, I have never made a bag from her that hasn't sold. The Mighty Messenger is like my to-go to, especially if I want to have something that feels a little bit more campy or just a little bit more fun. I want her to make this bag, but into a gamer size, like where it's like a full, not like not like a middle messenger bag, but like a messenger bag that you can stick a huge computer in. Oh, that's the Mighty Messenger bag from Fierce Kitten. It's the, hey, Christina, if you're Linda, put the information all right above. Fierce Kitten's the designer, and it's the Mighty Messenger bag. I know her, that pattern is so like, is so very cool because it, you can turn this bag into anything. Like I have an idea for like a really cool Girl Scout one, having like a clear sleeve on the outside, but the inside it is like Velcro, and they could put all their patches in the inside and just protect it. So the clear vinyl will protect it from getting wet, but then they can rotate around their badges how they want to do. I've been playing around with that because there's a lot of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts in my area, and I was like, how can I make a bag for them that would help in their everyday scouting life? Yeah, the price for the pattern's nice. Um, she does really good prices. The she I think her pattern is solid. The only part the only part, no, everything's solid. It's very brief, and not too many pattern pieces, and not many too many cut by measure pieces. But yeah, it's very brief. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she has a video on it. I'm not 100% because I haven't watched it, but I believe she does videos for her bags that she creates. Yes. Substantial? Question mark. um, I said a lot of things. So I don't know what I said substantial about. Oh, substantial. The straps. I don't know. They feel flimsy. Like I like thicker things. For if someone's holding their laptop and this just doesn't feel substantial. It feels like kind of flimsy. I don't know. Not kind of, it's, I don't know. I prefer making straps. I wanted to make leather straps with this, but then I thought it would be too much because I would have to do the buckle slide thing. Um, I don't know. I don't like seatbelt webbing at all, really. I have it because some people ask for it, but I'm not a big fan of seatbelt webbing. Yeah, it just feels flimsy. Like if I do use webbing, I use like cotton webbing. It's so much thicker than seatbelt webbing. It is literally almost double it. And the thickness is real. Like, I don't know. It's just when you, even when you fold it, see, it just feels flimsy. I don't know. And it's all personal preference. I just didn't have any cotton webbing that was brown or gray. So I generally go for nice and bright colors when I go for a cotton webbing. Yeah, I got this one from Stitch Supply Co. So yeah, I don't know. Where's my pins? Okay. I was looking for a pin to stick this in. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Oh, if she's in North Carolina, she needs to come. I need to meet her. She's so cool. She's such a every time I see her like comment, she's just really positive. Um was what oh yeah. I mean everyone has their own preference with seatbelt webbing. I just am not a fan. I just like I prefer cotton ones, and I because I think that a lot of people don't understand that polyester frays a little bit more than cotton, and it's easier to control cotton's fraying than it is polyester. Polyester, it's easy if you have a soldering iron, but if you don't have that and you're just busting out a flame, it's very probable that you didn't hit every point that needed to be hit to stop the fraying. Oh, yeah, I had that on my. I fell going up the stairs when my son was 2. You heard me correct. And I have a iron rod and some nuts and bolts on my left side of my hip because of him. Fun times. And when I look back, prior to having my son, I mean, prior to having the surgery, I was so much lighter. After that surgery, I gained so much more weight. And I think I have arthritis in my hip because I could tell you when it's about to rain, my hip, it burns like nothing I've never felt before. And I'm like, if this is what people feel in their hands, I don't know. I have a new like respect and I guess sadness for people that have arthritis. Yeah, I had to get it done. That was a painful surgery. I mean, it looks like no scars because the way they do it, it's like 3 little slits. But yes, and it's funny because whenever like the metal detector sometimes detect the metal in my leg, sometimes it doesn't. Stretchy webby. Okay, like that for the waist pack, so that way, so tight. Mm. No, are you talking about like the waist tape, like the twill tape? Yes, Jenny, the pain is sometimes real. Like on Friday, I was pushing through my. It was before the storm came in. I don't know. I'm so I know this sounds like pathetic. I'm so afraid to get it rechecked again because I always feel like the resolution is to put you back underneath the knife. Um, yeah, I think I've arthritis straight up in my hip. And some days it feels like I'd never had surgery, and other days I'm like I'm afraid to get old. Yeah, I can feel the rain. I can feel a storm coming in my hip, the rain, and it's like I usually have to do like an ice pack, heating pack situation. Um, I'm allergic to ibuprofen and aspirin, so I can't take any anti-inflammatories. So, um, yeah, it sucks. I don't think all the webbing is like usually seatbelt webbing or cotton webbing. I don't know any of stretching webbing. I'm not too sure where to go for that. Most webbing I know that doesn't stretch, or if you're talking about elastic, like the fold over elastic that people put around to bind their things, then that's the only thing I could think of. But I don't know any webbing that actually stretches. Yeah, so that's basically all I did. Oh yeah, definitely let me. I have no idea. I want to know, so send me the link. We have a somebody else in here. Unfortunately, we don't speak. Interesting. Okay. Um, yeah, that's I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can remove the troll. Okay. Let's put them. I'm gonna add here. Hold on, Jenny. I'm hold on, Jenny. I'm gonna. Okay, Jenny, you're now a moderator because you seem to always catch them. Yeah, send it to me on IG. So I'm curious now because I like to work with weird stuff. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's an interesting thing. Let's see. Okay, I think I got one. No, I haven't. I have never. I've always wanted to do the crystal. There's certain bags I've never made a purse pal, and I've always like I have so many of Lynn's patterns. I have made the Guardian, which I feel like that is a fun make. I every time I make one of her bags, I literally it's fun, if that makes sense. I am going to ask her if I'm able to record myself doing the Mave pack. I got all the stuff for it, but I'm probably going to do that after the Comic Con for July because I'm pushing out things like nobody's business. Um, I want to do it because I my favorite my favorite thing is when she launches a pattern. If you have nothing to do and you want some pure entertainment, go into her group when she just launches a pattern. Like, it is interesting to see everyone's perspectives, point of views. Like, her group is pretty fun. So I like when the Mave came out, I wanted to see what people did for hacks, what didn't work, what did work. It's like research, and it's just so interesting how everybody did it so different. Um, yeah. Let's see. Good morning. All right. From Florida. What I usually do, Mickey, is I'll do a persimmon with the same fabric. I never like make them all together, which Kendall's always like, if you make a bag, just make a pouch. So that way, if it sells, then it can just go with it. The reason why I don't do that is one, I'm lazy sometimes, and two, I like when I'm practicing different style pouches, like the jelly one, I will get put that in someone's bag for a thank you gift because it's a good gift. There's no flaws, there's nothing, and it might bring them to come to my shop because there'll be something a little bit different that they didn't expect, um, like that. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so I do like my favorite bag to this day to make for a thank you gift is a persimmon pouch. Um, but now I'm just starting to do the clear boxy pouches because the jelly like seems to get a lot of people's attention, but I haven't had anyone ask me to make a stadium tote or anything out of it. So what I do, kind of like a weird marketing, like if someone bought this for me, I have like a gray jelly that I got. I would make that jelly bag with a gray zipper and put it in here. And if they respond back to me like, "Hey, thank you for the gift. Do you make any bags out of this? Because or do you have this bag in this color? So, because I'm a Ravens fan and I want a blue one or whatever for when I go to the football games. And you guys need to think ahead of time. Right now is football season. So, if you're able to find jelly colors, the same things as like NFL stuff, and maybe find patches that are NFL, you might make a killing off of those because they're stadium bags. Football season, people pay a lot of money. Like if you're able to, there's black ones, so you can do your Raiders and get a little Raiders patch, and someone now could bring a tote bag like the Tuesday tote into the stadium to a football game. Also, Friday night lights, high school and college kids are starting to, exercise warm up for the games. Get those colored jellies because it's no specialized fabric. You're not breaking anything. You can get patches sometimes at the school. You're the local CVS. Like my CVS has my daughter's school, so they have Wild Lake patches and everything. You put that Wild Lake Tiger on the school, the same color jellies. Now you have clear totes or people could bring to the football game. This is the way I think. So the person, whoever has the most colored jellies, is generally going to be the person that gets my business because that means I can now turn it into NFL or collegiate or high school football stuff. And it's huge. These things are huge. Most of our money for our kids, high school or colleges, gets poured into football. So that's another avenue right now. If you're thinking about what can I make going into the summer, test the waters. Make a an NFL bag and test the waters on your Facebook page and post it on your Instagram and see how many people reach out to you. Like, how much does this cost? Can you make X amount? And the reason why I tell you to post it because a lot of people like at big firms like Regis or like anything like especially like with housing people like Remax or whatever, they look for holiday gifts to give all their employees and they generally try to look for someone that has a home-based business so that they can tell people that they also support local businesses. Sarah Lawson, it's a free pattern. Sarah Lawson makes the persimmon. Yes, a stadium tote needs to be clear, but jelly is technically clear. So, I mean, just like think about it. If it has to be all clear, then we couldn't be able to use our patterns like I have like the Pokemon one and different ones now, but like the clear jelly, I looked into it and one of the people told me that I sent them a jelly thing. They're like, "Oh, I have this fabric that I have a bag like this that is clear and it's all purple, but I beat it up. Are you able to make me another one with the Ravens?" And the patch doesn't have to be the whole bag. You have to be able to see through the bag. So it could be like a small little patch just to make it feel like they're being a part of their sports. Or you can say, no, I don't do the patch because I don't want to commercialize or I don't want to step on any infringements and just make a clear bag or a clear bag with vinyl or a clear bag with jelly in that color scheme of the of the football team, basketball team, soccer, what have you. Yeah, I swear by the persimmon. I think it's a very fast pattern, but everyone's always like likes it. I'm going to ask by Annie if I can do the clam up pattern. I bought the pattern, and I think that it's super clever, super quick, and I love the way the cutout shapes look. And I thought it'd also be cool so people can learn, see how different ways to quilt because I get a lot of questions on my quilting, so that too. Yeah, so like the way it works for me is I've always been a garment maker, but then when I had kids, I started quilting, and I love to free motion quilt um a lot. If I had one of those free arms, I think I would do it. I did practice a lot at different quilt shows and quilt stores, but I'm not like a pro by any means necessary. It's just fun because it feels like you're playing a video game. Um, so like, you're like, what? I was really silly. I think the people were like, what is she doing? um, but then when I got into love of bags, I incorporate a lot of stuff that I know from garment making and quilting into my everyday bag making. Yes. Yes. The and it also helps to install zippers. So like the one I taught in Texas, I installed zippers on both sides because my biggest gripe about the persimmon is when I try to fold both pieces, when a zipper is not fully closed on the other side, I feel like it has like a small little gap and it doesn't look even. So by putting two zipper pulls going towards each other, it gives it a more even cohesive look to me. And it's also easier for the people because they can put the zippers on and just have like 2-inch tails on each side and have it dangling and then just zip it up when they need to and there's no issues. I put on so many zippers that weekend, it's not even funny. It was just the packs I had to put on zippers, and then when we got in class and someone accidentally unzipped it, I was like putting them on. And size 3 zippers are not fun to put on. Like I could put a size 5 zipper on sometimes, like not even looking. Size 3, they're so small. They're so small. So I'm gonna bug my husband and have him make me some coffee. Got me a flat white from freaking 7-Elevens. First of all, I love flat whites. Okay, just know it. I love it. I also like the slow drip, but he was like 7-Elevens had flat white, and I was like looking at it like bombastic side eyed. Like I was like, this is gonna be gross. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely great. And I was like, maybe because I was going through coffee withdrawal, I'm not too sure. But it was really, really good. Yeah. Add that to your back. Like, add that. It's free and it's fun. And you can experiment with a couple different stuff. I think right now would be really cool. Another NFL thing. What if you take okay, I'm going to use the Ravens because I live in Baltimore. By any means necessary doesn't mean I like the Ravens because I don't. Okay. So, um, get the Ravens fabric, get that purple jelly on the bottom and make it, because there's an accent piece for the bottom. Make the jelly that it will look sick. Hey, Teresa. This is my bag, Teresa. Look, this is the one I made yesterday. I really love this. I really love this. This is like one of my favorite. I still don't know a price point. I do know I did log how many hours and what materials I did. And it's kind of harder for me for leather because, like, let's say you get a half, it's not a yard, it's like what the height is, and then how much you paid, and then trying to do the square inch, all the mathing, all the mathing. Yes, try a jelly bag. Good morning, Kindle. Yes, to the coffee. I'm not going to lie to you. Yesterday, it was a close call. I didn't have coffee for a certain amount of days. I was willing to sell one of my kids for a cup of coffee. And now I know I can make it myself. I'm spoiled. Kindle makes really good coffee. But I'm also not so spoiled. Like you've seen me drink McDonald's coffee, like a 99 cents coffee. I'm not like that bougie, but it takes a long time for the coffee styles that I like to make. I'll take faith. Let's negotiate. I was like, man, I need some coffee, Kindle. And the thing is, I know he was thinking Shinova hasn't had coffee. He had so many little things to do before 12. It wasn't even funny. And then it was just so many little things. And then he came back with a coffee and a Coke. And I was like, I have never been more in love with him than I was at that moment. He was like a hero then. Yeah. Faith can maybe be, Hope is the one you would want to negotiate with. She's a little scary, but it's that age. Kendall's a sweetheart. Ken is he's a really sweet kid. He does he's like, okay, he is really sweet. So when he does get mad, it's like everyone like is clutching their pearls and looking because he's like this 11-year-old little dude that generally, yes, mom, no, mom, yes, dad, no, dad, I want to do this, and so polite. Even when he's playing games when they're with his cousins and they're like, it's like Fortnite or whatever, and they're like shooting people, they'd be like, hide behind this, da da da. Like the way he talks, he's not like aggressive. So when he does snap, it is, I'm not trying to say it's funny, but it is funny because he has two older sisters. See, I'm the oldest. I know what me and my sister is like a middle child. I know what we did to the younger one and my brother. When you have two girls against one boy and their family, that boy doesn't have a prayer. Like he doesn't have a chance. Like anything he does, the girls are going to snap. I know I did it. I'm not proud of it, but it's something like when we get into a pack, it just it is. So he's like that kid that will put down the toilet seat, like, like he'll do it. So when he does snap, it's very interesting because it has to be something extreme for him to go to that level. He like my daughters fight all the time. They share a room. They're both teenagers, whatever. But Ken doesn't really fight with anyone until when he does. It's like what what happened? He's very like he's like Kendall. He's really like chill and laid back at all costs. Like he's a sweetheart. Have fun at the gym. Get it on. Work it out. Okay? Go to 7-Eleven, get your flat white because I'm I'm telling Kendall to go do that. It was really I kept looking at it and I was like, and I don't know if it's their cups. And if it is their cups, Starbucks, you need to get hip to it. My coffee was hot the whole time I was drinking it. And it takes me usually like 30 to 45 minutes to drink a cup of coffee. It was hot. Not like, oh, it got lukewarm. No, it was hot. Like, you know how when you drink coffee, sometimes it burns the roof of your mouth. Don't act like you don't do that. Like, it was hot the whole time. And I was like, is it this cup? Is this cup magic? So there was that. So it was a twofer. Great cup insulation. Um, and then it made me wonder about Starbucks. We pay so much for their drinks, and it is a paper cup, and it doesn't stay hot very long. It cools down quite quickly. If you are a person that like kind of savors and not like gulping it down, it can be significantly cool within 30 minutes. So there, that was another thing. It's I think I'll be a good researcher or a tester just because I think of random stuff like that. All right. Well, I am going to head off, convince Kendall to go get me some coffee. I don't know, donuts. Donuts. And then just bust my butt and try to get this bag done. And then if it's finished, I will show you tomorrow and post my bag on in a few groups because I'm really proud of this bad boy. I feel like I did Firefly right. All right. All right. I will talk to you guys all later. I hope everyone has a great day. Happy Sunday. Bye.